You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. On Thursday, September 22nd and Friday the 23rd, pianist Jerry Hu makes two stops in Manitoba as part of a cross-prairie tour. Winner of the Western Young Artist Competition, Jerry performs first in Boissevain and then in Winnipeg the following night. Ahead of that tour, Jerry has joined me virtually alongside Manitoba Registered Music Teachers Association past president Evangeline Keeley to tell us a little bit more about the event. Hello to you both.
Hi, Simon.
Hello.
It's
It's
great
nice
to
to be
see you.
here.
And Jerry, it's nice to have you on Winnipeg's Classic 107. You're from a province over, based in Saskatoon. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a high school student, right?
Yeah, I'm in grade 12 right now in my last year of high school, and I'm 17 years old, and I've been playing piano for more than 10 years now. It's been a long time, so I'm really happy that I get the opportunity to play this recital.
I'm sure that you are. Tell us a little bit more about the piano. I mean, saying you've been playing for about a decade now, started probably when you were about 6 or 7. What made you go to the piano in the first place?
Well, my brothers both play the piano, so I kind of just followed along with them, and I didn't really get serious into piano before I got to my current teacher, Bonnie Nicholson, which was around grade 7, and that's when I really fell in love with music.
You fell in love with it, and you've had some great success. I was reading your bio at the local, provincial, national levels. I see you even made your symphonic debut last year, performing with the Saskatoon Symphony Orchestra. How cool was that?
Yeah, that was like a highlight of my life. That was just amazing. Like I was just so exhilarated after that.
You played the third Beethoven concerto, right?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
That's fantastic. And you were 16 years old, which is just even more impressive. I can only imagine the adrenaline rush when you got up on the stage, and then to be able to do your thing. I mean, how exciting, and how cool.
Yeah, it was such a good experience. I'll never
Uh,
forget it.
I'm sure. So just before chatting more about this solo tour that is set to begin, Evangeline, let me bring you into the conversation here. The Western Young Artist Competition is presented by the Canadian Federation of Music Teachers Association and its provincial counterparts here in Manitoba and in Saskatchewan. Can you tell us a little bit more about this competition?
Yeah. So it actually started, as lots of good ideas do, right on the prairies, between a Saskatoon teacher, Lyle Guston, and a Winnipeg teacher, Martha Rattan Patterson, back in 1941.
Mm.
And that idea was kind of a studio exchange between the two of them. And then the following year, it became a national program. And it did continue on the prairies for a number of years, I think about 25 years before it actually branched out into other provinces. But now there are, I believe, five different five different young artist competitions across the country. And for ours here in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, the competitions are held provincially first, and then there is an interprovincial competition at the beginning of March. So our competitor from here, from Manitoba, went to Saskatoon in March and competed against Jerry, and we know the outcome.
That we do. So this an opportunity for young artists to travel across provinces and share their talents, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us how many applicants there typically are roughly for this type of opportunity?
Well, in Manitoba, I believe we had two or three competitors this
Hmm.
year. And so that initial competition was in February. And then I don't know what Saskatchewan's was like for competitors. So I imagine in different parts of the country, it might be more competitive. But our situation, I believe, is unique. There may be a similar situation in the Maritimes where they have, an interprovincial kind of competition. Mhm.
Yeah, it is nice to have those students from the prairies performing and making those connections with one another. Jerry, you're set for a little tour that is set to begin later this month, later this week, in fact. Boissevain, Winnipeg, then Weyburn, Regina, Saskatoon, Prince Albert, and Rosetown. Have you ever toured before? Is that something you've done?
No, it's my first time, man. I'm really excited to see how it'll go.
Oh, are you nervous about anything? Like I'm thinking about, the stretch, the run that you're going to be going on, or are you just excited to do your thing in all these different communities?
I think when it comes to performing, I usually don't get too nervous because I just like to show what I can do, right? And I just really enjoy performing, so I'm not really nervous about it. I'm just like excited to go to all these cities and share my music.
Can you tell us about the pieces that you're going to be performing?
Yeah, so in the first half, I'll be playing the Canadian music by Muzetic. It's called Three Pieces for Piano. And every year I love to do like a Canadian piece. It's always great to have Canadian representation. And then the second piece I'm doing in the first half is by Liszt. It's called A Spanish Rhapsody. And it has like all sorts of Spanish influences. Like if you think of like a stereotypical like bull rider,
Mhm.
you can hear that in the piece. And then the second half is uh very special to me. I'm playing all four ballades by Chopin. These pieces are very poetic, very like lyrical and romantic, and they're really based on narratives. And I have like a personal story for all of them, and I hope the audience can also hear a story in all of them as well.
They're also very challenging pieces, those four ballad. Can you tell us a little bit more about, what they mean to you and why they were special to program for this tour?
Yeah, so I learned the first one when I was in grade eight. So I've known that one for a long time. And the two, three, four, I learned during COVID when the pandemic just hit. So I had like nothing to do but practice. So I just learned these four ballades. So they've been with me for a long time, and I've really like grown with them.
Well, I mean, especially if you were working on them, as we all were, with in isolated, on our own, right? And so now to be able to go and then share these, not only with the community in Saskatoon, but truly touring across Manitoba and Saskatchewan, that's got to make it even more special, right?
Yeah, it's I always love playing those pieces, and it's really special to be showing them to everyone.
Well, very excited to have you here in Winnipeg and Boissevain before that, and want to congratulate you on your recent success, Jerry, and wishing you continued success into the future. Excited to have you here in town.
Thank you. Thank you so
And
much.
Evangeline, lovely seeing you as always.
Could I just tell about the concert date?
Sure.
So in the Winnipeg concert is the one that I'm familiar with and I'll be attending. And it is on Friday, September 23rd at 7 p.m. St. Mark's Lutheran Church, which is at the corner of Cambridge and Corridon. And admission is by donation.
There you go. I was going to say it, but you heard it from Evangeline there. So yeah, St. Mark's is the place to go. And yeah, concert begins at 7 p.m. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.